So who we are a leading supplier in the semiconductor industry. We service all areas, whether it be DRAM, NAND, or logic. We're in all of those. We are vertically integrated, so we can give and supply products and services throughout the whole value chain. And this is something that we're really proud of, and I think it's part of our competitive advantage that we have compared to other companies. One of the ads that you would have seen in the last years is our optronics division. And here we have not only the materials and the devices, but we also have the tools that are current in all technology that you touch and feel. So there's always the question of who we are and where we fit in, and this requires a little bit of an explanation. We're part of a much larger company called Merck KGaA Darmstadt. Our headquarters is in Germany, but we are global and throughout the world. We also have three other divisions that we represent. One is EMD Sirona, which is our healthcare division. We have a life science division that in the US goes under the moniker of Millipore Sigma. And then, of course, we service the semiconductor industry as EMD Electronics. So what do? We look at it that we spark discovery and we elevate humanity. And when we talk about elevating humanity, it's really because we hit these different areas that all touch the way we live and touch the planet as a whole. The company is about 358 years old. We started as a corner store pharmacy, and that love of innovation and that love of science has continued and grown throughout those years, and it shows how we've been so strong. We've got 63,000 employees worldwide and 21.2 billion in sales. Out of that, about 10% gets put back into R&D, so we're very proud of what we do to bring innovation to the market. When you go down and you look at, okay, beyond Merck KGaA Darmstadt, what else is there in EMD Electronics? You look at who we are. And we've got about 8,000 employees who focus on the semiconductor industry. We make about 3.8 billion in sales in the areas we talked about, semi-materials, tools, and devices. Within this sector, we're almost about 300 million in R&D investment. We do that over almost 30 manufacturing sites. I think one of the things we're super proud of is the amount of patents that we hold in this company, and that's 13,000 patents in the area. A story I like to talk about, when you think about future insight and thinking about things, one of the things we early on got a patent for was liquid crystals about 100 years ago. Kept it on file for 80 years and then kind of saw how that affected the world. So these are the kind of people we look for and we like to engage with. What's our footprint? We are where our customers are. So we do a local for local strategy. And you see here US and Asia being our largest markets. Korea, China, Taiwan, Japan, obviously key places where we play, being in the semi industry. And then you see the European footprint given our headquarters. So one of the things I used to do and I used to talk about is whenever we talk about where our products land and where they fit in, it's to show people the iPhone and to say, hey, look, if you've got a smartphone on you, we've touched this phone, we're in this phone in multiple areas. Now, rather talk more about the future, because I think that's a little bit of the past, right? So what are we in and where will we be? And you see here in the energy efficient AI data centers, and we've got an exhibit right here on the future of AI, which you can walk through. We talk about personal computers, and as you see more integrations on the chip, our technology, our ability to innovate at the atomic level becomes more and more important. AR, VR glasses. We've got exhibit here in the booth as well, which I recommend you check out. Our technology enables that and makes it happen, so you can kind of touch and feel it and play it in action. And then we get into neuromorphic and quantum computing and the research we're doing there and where we see our capabilities. And eventually, we want to leverage what we have in larger Merck KGaA Darmstadt with our healthcare and life science department, looking at computers on a chip and organs on a chip, and getting into that bioconvergence area. So these are areas we're playing in and where we see in our future. I'm not going to get too much into this slide, but we really try to cover all the different areas in saying, hey, we understand our customers' processes. We know how those work. We're very, very proud of our commitment to quality, of our commitment to delivery, and how important that is. Our ability to get output and throughput through our products is what builds our reputation. And we also see the importance more and more in sustainability. And how customers are looking around those areas and those criterias. So we are looking at alternatives to historic options on how they can be more sustainable on those areas. So that gives you a little bit on the challenges and how we help solve them. One of the phrases you'll hear from us, and if you talk in the booth to people, is this idea of material intelligence. And this is this concept that we like to bring our strong chemistry knowledge and a strong physics knowledge together with data and digital and our advancements in AI. And those combination allow us to develop better products. A lot of modeling that gets done in the lab. And you'll see in the next slide this idea of lab to fab and fab to lab. So one of the things we also heavily value is customer feedback. Not only do you see a lot of obsession and passion with the customer in our business, but we also want to make sure we're listening throughout the product lifecycle. So very often our products will be developed in the lab to then go be experimented in the fab floor, and then that loop back when we hear from our customers about what's working and what's not, we see generational change on our product lines. So this is a process we're quite proud of. And the output of that process, I think, is where we want to point to today. So if you have a chance to walk around the booth, you'll see 3 major stations. The first station, which is right here, is this idea of breakthrough applications through AI. So how do our products play into the advancements in AI, into the different chips and whatnot? The second is AR, and which is the station right in the middle of the booth. Which will give you a bit of how we get involved in waveguides, how we really change the way you're going to be interacting with technology, and maybe even someday not need a computer or need a smartphone. And then the last one, and this is fairly new compared to previous years, is our healthcare-enabled solutions. And this is our partnership on the bioconvergence side with the other parts of our company on how can we really have the most impact on people, whether it comes to disease or health in other areas. So with this, I think I would close a bit on where we see the possibilities and where we see things and the opportunities. Again, we have 360 years of innovation, and with that, to last that long, a company has to be continuously innovating and working with your partners. We're specialized in 3 different businesses: healthcare, life science, and electronics, which you'll see in the booth. The most featured is the electronics. And again, we're very, very focused on R&D, with 10% of our revenues going into R&D. So we'd like to talk to you a bit, to hear from you on what you need, and also to tell you about ourselves. So please join us in the booth, and we hope to make your visions a reality. Thank you.